We're good. Make sure everything is everything. People can hear. Great in the chat. Hello. Let's test the ITO. Hello. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Hello. We had a little delay, but we're here with you. All praises. I'm gonna let Nat start it out. What you got to say, dear? I like putting people on the spot all the time. You might never know.
Welcome to the Remnant. All praises to the Most High for this beautiful evening. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say, the questions, the back and forth, revelations that can be brought out tonight, that will be brought out tonight. And just relax.
You got
and
some
get
revelations
this
that you're gonna bring out tonight?
Maybe, depending on how it rolls.
Oh, okay. I just wondered. How about you?
I always got some revelations.
Oh, okay. All right. What's one of them?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. I'll let.
I'm trying to put people on the spot.
I am.
Always.
You know. We'll let the ladies introduce themselves and the men, and then we can get into it.
Hi, I'm Josh.
I am Aubrey.
I'm Brandon. Adrian.
Ladies, I'm gonna just let you guys just start it out with any. It's no formality. It could be a thought. It could be a statement. It could be a question. It could be something that you were thinking to yourself while you were in your car. Something came to you. It could be something that you wanted to pull from a situation in your past that you felt like you overcame. What we don't want to do is try to script everything. We like the Holy Ghost moving around here and having this full wheel. So I just wanted to broaden it out so you won't have to feel like there's a certain way we got to do things. The way we're going to do them is the way we do them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah. And if you guys don't have anything, I'll see if Dove and Naya want to chime in, but I'll start with you guys first.
So it doesn't have to be, but we can ask.
You can say anything you want to say. There's
and
nothing
say,
scripted.
ask any question.
Anything.
Okay.
Because there's no taboo. There's nothing that we can't talk about.
Okay. I would like to ask this question to anybody on the panel. What is something that you have thought you overcame, but let's say the test came back around and it actually got you again? How did you handle that? Like, what did you do to deal with that? Did you recognize it right away? Was it a different way that it came at you so you couldn't see it? How did you handle that?
That is a great question because there's not one person in this room that haven't gone through that, self included. Great question. I'll let anybody pick it up. I want to. Anybody? Well, what she's saying is that there been situations that you felt you overcame, and something came back around that presented that situation, and you felt it.
Yeah.
Right. And how did you react? How did you deal with it? What did you do? How did you feel that you felt it? I mean, it could be really broad.
Yeah, it's very broad. And also I'm asking this question because this is outreach. And so I want people to know how we deal with things when we fail at them and, they come back at us, and how we deal with them, to move forward.
Yes.
So that's why I asked the question.
I'll start it out and I'll let people follow after that. I done had so many of them, just, I can't even number, from being 16 and from being grown, grown. And I think that how I dealt with it is consequence. I'm going to I'm going to tell a personal story that I am not proud of, but I'm going to share because we're transparent. There's been one time in my relationship with Dove that I slapped her before. This had to be in. She'll remember.
2001.
She'll
When
remember.
you got out.
When I got out, huh?
Mhm.
Oh man, yeah. So there's never a reason why. I've never been a violent person, even when I was in the game. I might have checked somebody before, and since I'm being transparent, when I was in the lifestyle, I did check a girl before because I never drink and smoke, and that was something that was outlawed in my household. I did not allow any drugs, any drinking and smoking, and people would say, "You go deep with Dre, you gonna it's gonna be boring being over there with him." It's just that I just didn't accept it because growing up in the '80s, seeing what cocaine had done to my father, my auntie, to all of my relatives, to so many people that I love, drugs became an enemy number one to me, which is why I really never participated, because it was an enemy to me. I only thought about how it destroyed my family, and so if a girl got with me, I'd let her know that, this is something that, and I would explain to them why, like I'm explaining to you guys. And one time this girl snuck out and did some drugs. And I just guess, just from how I felt about that, how it had destroyed so many people, I just reacted. It made me feel like as much as I cared about your life, you didn't care enough about it. And I slapped her. I just reacted, and it never happened again. But yeah, that was something that I failed at because I never wanted to be a violent person. I've checked a girl before, but I'm just saying that right there was a reaction out of trauma based upon, the devastation. So I guess I carried all that devastation into that situation with her. And I was like, didn't I explain to you what this did to the people that I cared for? I know that's kind of hard for people to believe that somebody would even care for somebody like that in the streets when you're hustling. But you guys don't know, because a lot of you have never been in the streets hustling. You think that there are situations that people don't care, but I come from it. My mom was from it. My father was from it. And so I didn't look at it like probably most people in the street would look at it. So yeah, it was a devastating thing to me. And I just reacted. And she wasn't there that much more longer. Not because of that, but not because of I slapped her, but because, I felt like, there's a term for it now. It's like, if we in the streets and you want to be for the streets. I mean, which one you want to be? You want to be a conqueror in the streets or just want to be for the streets? And how we in this game and then you for the streets and we in the streets trying to be conquerors in the streets, right? So yeah, it didn't last that much longer after that. I was disinterested. But with Dove, I had such a high expectation of Dove. I had got out the joint, and my high expectation of what I expected out of her made me react. That's something that I failed at, right? It made me react because I'm a stickler of not allowing my emotions to dictate my actions, right? And I said earlier, consequence is something that helped me, right? The consequence of my behavior helped me. So when that happened, consequently, I had a dream that night. And in the dream, I felt God told me, don't ever touch her again. That's a true dream. That terrified me. I was like, not only do I don't want to do it, but he gave me an assist. So now I know God is involved in this thing. And I'm glad that he did tell me that, because if I failed at that, I wouldn't be in power today. That's 2021. And it is 2001. Now this is 2026. So 25 years ago, and it's never happened again, and it won't ever happen. Not because I don't think that somebody could get out of pocket or get out of line. But what I've learned to just release people. If you want to be for the streets and you want to be for, anything outside of what I'm pushing and what we're playing for over there, then I will allow you to be all that you want to be. Once I give you everything, well, segue real quick. On the way here, I was talking to both my wives, and I was like, one thing that you notice is that the people, family members and friends, and when you see their lives, it's like their lives have ended. You see people, their lives are over, right? It could be people, your relatives or whatever, their lives are like over, right? And there's such a renewal being within the culture that every day there's this great renewal because you always have something to reach for, to press for. And when you feel like your decisions have shaped you, your environment have shaped you, and you're at a certain age, some people feel that way at a very young age. And we did a class on this, what happens to something that stops growing, it dies. And so when you're in a place that you have no place to go, you stop growing, you die. And so I was like, if I look at, some of my friends from the game and, family members, you could see people being in the same place for like 20, 30 years. It's like death, right? And in those 20, 30 years, I have had so many lives within those 20, 30 years, right? And I continue to present being relevant, and not only being relevant, but being, as I always have named myself, the king of reinvention. And I'm going somewhere, the king of reinvention. And there's a freshness, there's a newness, because there's a renewal when you have something to look forward to and something to reach for. When you felt that you've done everything that has been presented in your life, you start dying, and it shows up in your face. It shows up in your disposition because you become a very pessimistic type of person because you feel like it's the end for you, right? One thing I can say about this remnant, when anybody enters in and they stay, automatically there's a renewal. You might have came in and you might have felt like this was the end, that you were at your end. I met Dove at 27, and that's how she felt. I'm just living my life for my kids. Like I say, follow me because I'm going somewhere with it. I'm just living my life for my kids. So there is this ability, this renewing ability with this information. There's a freshness with this information, right? But you got to believe it. So there's a premium put on your faith. There's a premium put on your belief. And that's one of the most important things to me, right? Especially when you know what a person has come up out of. So when I was dealing with Dove, when I got out of prison in 2001, I had already faced that like a champion. And there was something going on. I don't even remember exactly what was going on, but it made me feel like she wasn't taken as important as that need to believe for renewal, for where we needed to go. And yeah, it made me react, right? Not because of anything else outside of what I expected of her. Maybe she might have a different perspective of it because she's the one who experienced it with me. Do you remember anything other than that?
I remember everything.
Okay, well, explain it.
So at this time when he got out, I think because it was mandatory for him to get a job. I think he was doing timeshare at the time, and we really didn't do anything outside of maybe going outside together. We were in Las Vegas every now and again, and so I guess he met some girl at the timeshare thing, and she was having some kind of party, and so we go out to this party. And it's like, I'm getting some kind of vibe, like, what's going on with this girl?
Who's this girl?
And you? I have no idea. I don't know.
You know everything and you don't know who the girl was?
Because I didn't know her. You just took me to the party, but I felt something with this girl. And I was like, well, something got to be going on because the girl's acting funny, and now I'm here. Now I'm feeling funny.
Mhm.
And so I just didn't like the situation whatsoever because I was like, I'm in a situation with somebody I don't even know these people from the gate, and she acting funny. Now we got me acting funny because I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I know something is going on, and you got mad because I asked you what was going on.
Yeah.
And you were like, girl, and you got mad. And then when we got home, we were talking about it and you were just upset at that.
Probably because I felt now, I don't even remember this girl or nothing because there was nothing going on. But I probably felt like after all we've been through up to that point, you shouldn't have believed that, right? Or you shouldn't have reacted to it. So that probably got me upset that I felt that you were above, the accusation or the thought or the insecurity about what you thought about some girl.
Because at the time I was like, well, if that was the case, I didn't need to come. Because that's what I was thinking. Because if something was going on, I didn't need to be present to be dealing with somebody that whatever she had going on, I didn't feel like I should have to have dealt with that. So that whole scenario was just crazy because I didn't know what was going on myself.
So what was going on?
I don't know.
To this day, you don't know what was going on?
Well, how we operate and for people who don't know that.
No, do you think that who was the girl?
I don't know.
This girl never was around again?
You worked with at the timeshare.
So it couldn't have been somebody I was just going to a party with.
I don't know.
You thought I was being intimate with this girl?
I didn't know. But the way she was acting and the way she was tripping, I was like, okay, what's going on?
See, now this is the thing.
And so that situation had me like, what's going on? Because why you mad? Why you tripping?
Yeah.
And I'm over here with what's really going on.
So now.
So why am I up in this mess? Whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
so
why?
now I probably can understand why I was really, really upset because I'm thinking about it now and I'm upset now. This girl done created a video in her mind that everything is going on. Now she is projecting something's going on there, and was nothing going on. Nothing.
Well, it could have been you said nothing was going on, but obviously the girl was interested in you.
So,
because there was some stuff going on, and it made me feel some kind of way because I was like, first of all, I don't even know these people. Second of all, I don't even know what's going on. I didn't even have to be present. Yes, that's how I was feeling at the time.
Okay, so at the time, let me tell you why I probably really got upset. Because you act like you didn't know the kind of man that I am, or even was then.
Right.
Did you think I was gonna sneak around and do something?
No.
You must have, because if you knew I wasn't that kind of man, you think I was scared of you to come tell you something? You don't think I just would have came told you what it was?
Yeah, you've done that.
No, I said you don't think I would have came and told you what it was?
Yes.
Because I'm not scared of you.
Yes.
And did you think that my commitment before the Most High was lacking then after I was stayed down and went to trial and trusted God through all that? Now I'm going to let some little female compromise who I am towards you, but most of all towards God? And the fact is, I knew you knew that about me. So for you to create this video and this movie, probably pissed me the heck off.
It did.
Oh, I know it did. Now I know why.
It did.
Yeah. I'm glad you refreshed my memory.
Because I said something and I was like, I think I said, I don't want to be here. I'm ready to go. You could take me home or I'll go home.
Well, I wouldn't slap you for that. Because if you would have said that to me.
No. Yeah.
No, you didn't say that.
I think I did say I was ready to go. No. And you was mad.
No.
Yeah.
You better you should reevaluate.
I think so.
See, because
why did we leave early?
Oh no, I thought you're saying that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay. Wait. No. This is what I thought you were saying. I thought you were saying you were telling me you were ready to leave my city. Leave me.
Oh
That's
no.
what I thought too.
Oh,
yeah,
you
see,
did?
that's what everybody thought.
Oh no.
Yeah.
At that party, I was saying that
You ready to
I'm
go?
ready to go.
No, I can see
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
But
I
if
don't
you
wanna
would
be
have
here.
said I didn't want to be with you,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mind you, it was like, so you guys, so yes, I knew him, I know him at the time. When we met in 1998 in January, we had only been together, I think it was 2-3 months before he got locked up. Now, mind you, he get out. This is when he just get out. He get this job, things is going on. So people see stuff now, see stuff going on then. And of course now I wouldn't have been moved by that situation because I would have been now like, okay, whatever. But
No, you wouldn't have.
at the time,
Hold on. You probably wouldn't have been moved by that situation because who I am as a man would have resonated to you more than your feelings.
Right.
Because you gonna see this is why I was saying about my expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it probably made me feel it was such a little situation. Not me slapping her, but the situation about whoever this girl was. Because let me just say this to you guys. First of all, if you don't know, I come up out the game. And one of the most degrading things for a man that comes up out of my lifestyle is for you to make a woman feel like just because she's cute, just because she has a nice body, or any of those things that somehow you are bamboozled by her beauty or any of those things, right? So in the game, we say it ain't your beauty, it's your duty. So it's an offense to me if a girl just thinks she can move me just by sex or just because she got a nice body or something. It's an offense to me. So me telling Dove from the beginning when she got with me, one thing you will never have to worry about, and this ain't even about you, it's about me. Where's his bottle, honey? He's probably hungry.
Nothing in there.
I thought you just brought some over there.
And he finished it.
Oh yeah, he greedy. You got it honest.
You got it.
So yeah, I need to probably put him on my lap because he'll fall asleep. But anyway, so just to let you know how strong I feel about, so that you can understand why I would have got that heated. How strong I feel about who I am as a person, in that can't no woman just because she's fine or whatever can just bowl me over just simply because of that. That's an offense to me. It would have been an offense then, it's an offense to this day, right? So this is one of the strong points about manhood that I teach even to this day, because it builds value, right? I remember I was at this club one time, and the Remnant know this story, and in Frisco, and there's a little cute little light-skinned girl, cutie pie. And so I don't know where I met her from, the job or something, but so we was at the club. She invited me to the club. We were at the club, and no, I wasn't at the job. I was in the game then. But anyway, I met her somewhere. So the club was about to end, and I told her, I said, I just want you to know that when we leave, there ain't gonna be no sex going on when we leave the club. She looked at me like what? Almost like that's my line. I said, I want you to know that there ain't gonna be no sex when we leave this club. So she was a square girl. So I know in her mind, she thinking that's her line, or probably that's how she pushes her line. So now it wasn't a game to me, I meant it. But I also know that it made me that much more intriguing to this particular woman. Because instead of her telling me, yeah, ain't nothing like that going on, and I'm telling her, she was like, well, I'm gonna give him this thing. Who he think he talking about? He just gonna, so now it has an adverse effect on it. That's value, right? When you get a girl and all she knows is the majority of guys just want sex. Now you got a man that I'm saying that's not gonna do it for me. Yeah, your sex ain't gonna do it for you. See what I'm saying? I'll just go with the Holy Ghost, yeah, since this is where we at. Your sex is not gonna do it for me. People wonder, how can a man develop that type of resistance? Because most men don't have it. Most men. Maybe unless you're play for the other team or something. You know, you might have a resistance to a woman because you don't desire a woman. But I'm talking about straight men. That is something for thousands of years that have overcome men biblically and naturally, whatever. Biblical history, world history. It has been a fact that some of the most powerful men that have existed have fallen to women. That's a fact. So that thing right there, yeah, I don't value sex that much. I like it a lot. I'm good, but I don't value it like the average man, right? So the average man would take a position against me because that is something that I don't fall to. That's something that I'm extremely empowered in, but they are not. So the way that I'm talking to men out here today, they could take an offense because they will feel deficient, because you are actually deficient. You are actually deficient. A woman is not about to bowl me over because she's fine. I'm not about to see a girl online and be like, oh my God, boy. And then my mind is not going to be, I just want to take her to bed. That doesn't live in me. I think too much of myself. I really think too much of myself. Let me say that one more time. How is it that you can resist a fine, drop dead, gorgeous woman like that? And how? Because I think too much of myself. But what does that mean? I think I'm more valuable than what she's offering me. So because I think I'm more valuable than what she's offering me, that gives me the ability to ask for something that she's not. Did you see how that played out? That gives me the ability to ask for something, right, that is not moving me. And then it gives her the ability to line up underneath me willingly, because she has slayed and conquered men all her life. That's if she's fine with a body. She's done that. She knows what, we've done a class on it. She knows what guys have done. Successful guys, unsuccessful guys, whatever race, whatever nationality. She knows the lengths that men or males will go just to have sex with her. And now I'm telling her, it's not enough for me, for you to present this to me as if it's sufficient. It is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. So now that we got that on the table, let me tell you what is sufficient to me, right? I put a clip up today of my old movie, Master of the Game. And I'm talking about when you're a young man and there's these insecurities that you feel in competition with other young men, teenagers, right? And going through those things in life, those insecurities, that's because sex is elevated. You imagine that insecurities are created when sex is elevated. Hear that. Insecurities are created when sex is elevated. Well, that's heavy right there. Do you understand that? Insecurities are created when sex is elevated, which means those insecurities don't got to be there. What happens when sex is not elevated? When those insecurities are not there any longer? What happens then? Anybody, what do you think happens then?
I'll say it one more time.
When sex is not elevated and the insecurities are no longer there, because insecurities are developed when sex is elevated, right? Okay, let's go there for the audience. What kind of insecurities are created when sex is elevated?
I'll say one, who she might be having sex with.
And that's on both sides, men and women.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
I would say comparison.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was gonna say that. Value comparison.
They might be thinking, do you find someone else more sexually attractive?
Here. How many partners you've been with?
Size, body, looks,
Prettier, yeah.
more attraction.
So what probably develops once those insecurities are out the way is more on, I think, how you feel about yourself and what you can give to that person. Is not, because it's not about once the main thing of the sex is out the table, it's like, okay, now what I'm giving to you is way more important than what the sex is or anything, and it takes the focus off what you might have and the value that the remnant man brings, right? Myself or anybody else.
That's powerful. Now watch this. Watch this. Look how broad this is and how important this is, and I'm about to say. For the first time in a woman's life, she finds somebody that can lead her. Because when sex is the issue, they be doing the leading. Woo! That's
Clap for
strong. They do the leading because they know they got that one thing that women know what men have done for sex. Lied, cheated, manipulated, whatever for sex. Kill for sex. That's strong. For the first time, she finds somebody that can lead her. And so my question after that, how valuable does he become to her?
Yeah, she's willing to do anything for him at that point. Anything.
That's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that? I find a man that could lead me. Right? So all of the world that's been created, which is majority of social media, that whole busy environment, just busy. Social media is just busy. Sex is everything, all through it, whatever. It's just the selling of sex. It is that environment is busy. It holds like 90% of the space. So there has to be psychologists because of this space. There have to be psychiatrists because of this space. There have to be this space encompasses so much of the world. Now remember, when sex is elevated, what? Insecurities are what? Do you see what I'm saying? Now look where I'm getting at. When sex is, I just said that this whole space is like 90% of a whole world of all of what? Just a whole world of it. That's all that exists. Right? Now, when that 90% evaporates, all that 90% evaporates from that woman's mind, from her subconscious, and from everything. And she could follow your leadership.
Oh, sorry.
Right. Oh, she could follow your leadership. Right? What does that look like? I could ask my two wives, I could ask these, and what does that look like? When that evaporates, that world, because my wives have lived in it. We've all have lived in, I have lived into that 90%.
Yeah.
I've lived there.
Yeah.
But when it's evaporated, when it's gone, when those are not the essential things of life anymore? What happens then?
I think the blessing is I can go back to the Las Vegas story, because you just being who you are is what taught me. So that 90% that didn't exist with you was able to teach me. Because had you not had that and you had that 90%, then you wouldn't have been able to teach me. So good. You wouldn't have been able to give me nothing, because we just talked about that person, then it's elevated. Right. So because it's decreased, then you're able to focus on me, then you can focus on Naya, build me, build Naya. So it took that for me to see that, coming from a place where I was used to being lied to, just the indoctrination period. It took me time, even though I knew who he was, to fully be like, okay, to trust, right? Even though I did trust you, because I trusted you with my life. And just being, learning how to be in different arenas around people, irregardless of, I'm gonna tell a story. I remember one time, one of his exes in the game. Now, mind you, the Holy Ghost was working on me with this situation, because we having a good time. Then all of a sudden you hear, you know what I'm saying? and well, we looking around.
This is in Las Vegas.
And this is his ex, right? And she runs up to him.
In the casino.
Right. And mind you, I still got that. This has only been a couple of years, so
she got that.
FEMRA is still there. Yeah. Right? So she run up. That's why I would told him, like, now I would never tell him in a situation I'm ready to go. Like, that's just not who I am. Like, whatever, I would never do that. So at this time, I promise you, this just had to be a couple of weeks after that incident. And here she comes, and she's crying, and she's touching his face, and oh my God. And I'm looking like, no, I'm looking like, first of all, you got your hands all over my husband's face. And he is not your man anymore. I didn't know who she was, but I knew she was probably from the game or something. And she had to be close to him at one point to be able to even do that, because I know him in that capacity, right? But in my mind at the time, because I'm like,
if you don't knock it off,
oh my God, oh my God,
you think you something else? Well, I promise.
Sorry,
God, my mom snuck up in here.
Being married, that's my husband. First of all, he ain't with you no more. Get your hands off my husband's face. And the fact that he wasn't saying nothing at the time, I walked over to the other side. I said, let me go over here, because I don't want to be that old person, and I don't want her to see me tripping, because I was tripping. And then he come, he already knew what was going on. And I was like, yeah, he's talking to me. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, whatever. Yeah. We go home. He mad. I'm mad, because I'm like, oh, yeah, you just let this. I wanted to say the word, this bride to put her hands all on you, and like, that's okay. Like, I wasn't even visible at the moment. You was all caught up, right? This is my mind, right? You was caught up, because I'm learning. And so there go another situation that I got to be talked to about, right? But, just the growth from that in the to grow, meeting his other women and just really not even them, but knowing who he is, right? Because they don't have nothing to do with it. It's knowing your husband, your man, and that's what's going to keep you in place, in pocket, knowing. Naya say facts, I say knowing, because the knowing, like we know the Most High is going to keep your butt in alignment, right? So just moving forward, and then all these different scenarios that come with the indoctrination and marriage and your boyfriend, your whatever. And I'm going to just say something real quick. This reminded me of, I was talking to Naya about this the other day, and it was during a class I was listening to. I don't know if it was the one you were doing by yourself or you and Naya, but this is so cold-blooded. The Holy Ghost gave me this. I forgot. I don't even remember. Naya might remember. I don't remember what was going on at the time when he gave it to me. But what he gave me, I have to say this word. We don't call women brides. I would never do that. That was back then, and in my mind, that's how I'm just telling you guys back in 2001 how I was thinking. Okay, because I was still growing.
Right.
Themra was present.
25 years ago.
Themra was almost gonna lay hands, but I didn't want my husband to be that disappointed, because that would have been a whole nother level for me to open my mouth and say something to this girl, knowing who he is, right? I just had to grow. But the Holy Ghost had gave me this. And in regards, like we know in our culture about marriage and everything, but the Holy Ghost has told me there is no relationship outside of marriage. He said a girlfriend or a whatever. Want me to tell y'all what he told me? Ask Naya. I told her what he told me. This is what he told me in my spirit. That's a hoe. Because you lend in your body. If you lend in your body outside of marriage, you a hoe. Period. People can have girlfriends and boyfriends. They still out there doing what they want to do.
Was the biggest hoe.
You was. Man, how many girls you had? Like 16, 16? First of all, but that's how he gave it to me, because that's how he was looking at the sanctity of marriage in our culture, right? Because he was saying, how he was showing me was when I was talking about a time when I was with somebody and they were so-called married, but they was going to try to give me a ring, and the engagement ring wasn't to be engaged. It was to promise me we going to be engaged. But we already living like we married, because you getting all the perks of marriage, right? But he was saying, just like with boyfriend and girlfriend, you doing the same thing. In the Most High's eyes, he has not sanctified that. That thing to him means nothing. You either married or you not. You the other thing. Wow. And it goes for both the man and the woman. I'm not saying just a woman is a hoe. He said it's the whole mentality. You out there operating, and that's how he gave it to me. And when he gave it to me, I was like, okay, Holy Ghost, did you just give me that? He said, yeah. Because that's how it is. Look how many people a dude will say he might not want you to be his girlfriend, but he'll ask you to be his girlfriend just to get the perks, because he over here sleeping with a bunch of other women. And he know what that girlfriend said. But girl, that's my boyfriend. What does that title even mean? What does it even mean? What comes with boyfriend and girlfriend? Nothing. Nothing. You could say, oh, I'm engaged. You know how many people been engaged for 5, 6, 7 years? And then next thing you know, they done broke up and they ain't even together no more, but she done had 6, 7, 8 fiancés, ain't never been married, right? Because it is like you are not setting out any expectations for this person. You don't have no stipulations, no nothing in your life. Y'all just hoeing around. That's all y'all doing. And putting names on hoeing around. That's what he said. That's how he put it. You my girlfriend. Oh yeah. And then now he really over there sleeping with other people, and you might be too. But that's my boyfriend, girl. That ain't no boyfriend. Y'all just hoeing around. Y'all putting labels on hoeing around, and it ain't even really, unless you married, you hoeing around. That's good. I don't care what you put on it. That's right. You can't put nothing on that. So that, you know, that's in the indoctrination. That's why it's so important under the Most High God how he even looks at marriage. Our marriage, we look at each other. We are one. All of us are one. We don't say me and you is one and you and I is one separate. No, we are one, right? So get that right, because when you start lending yourself and allowing people to put a label on hoeing around because they want you to be a hoe, but put a label like, I want you to be my girlfriend to make it sound better, right? To make you seem, look, to make you a girlfriend hoe, to make you seem exclusively that person, right? Or so you can exclusively be his hoe. right? And make you think y'all exclusive. Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's how he gave it to me, because he was explaining the labels that people use to do what they want to do, to sin. Right? The labels we use to sin. That's what it was. So it was like, when all it boils down to is you hoeing around. You just sleeping around. You just lending yourself to whoever because they ask you to be their girlfriend. That don't even mean nothing when you think about it. Girlfriend? That's like we four? You know what I'm saying? And when you think about it, you come up in this information and you learn who you are and you learn your culture. Ain't no way in the world somebody can present you with, I want you to be my goddamn girlfriend. That's why we got a courting process, and there's rules to that courting process. Right. And after that courting process, that woman needs to be your wife. Please believe. And if you remnant and she remnant, what y'all waiting on? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all living that life the Holy Ghost just gave me, and you hoeing around.
I know we haven't been reading the scriptures out lately like that, but when I said that you about to enact Isaiah 4, the title of it is A Remnant Prepared. It's a remnant prepared.
That's right.
And it says, in that day, 7 women will take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own food and wear and provide our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name. Take away our shame of being unmarried.
There you go.
That's powerful.
Period. And it reminds me of the dream Naya just had about delays. That's another delay. Even in the remnant. If you got a woman and you ain't married, you better handle your business. Because the Most High is not sanctifying that unity until it is. Right? And yes, we're operating accordingly. And in our culture, we're learning, we're getting it together. But the way he gave it to me and the way I just said it, you should not even want to be not looked at like that by the Most High, because the Holy Ghost gave me that. I didn't think that up. He gave it to me. So obviously the way he looks at things and the way we look at things, because we know the Most High's mind and his thoughts and his ways is higher than ours. So of course, the way we thinking is not how he's looking at it. And that's the get in line. That's the stop delaying, right? Like, why you delaying is the question, right? If we over here remnant and we operating in our culture and you believe that, what's the delay? It shouldn't be a delay. It's just like how we operate, how we move, how we know, and we should be doing this, that, and the other. It's the same thing. It's just like when we told Cassie and Greatness, I'll bring that back up again. When my husband said, Cassie and Greatness, until you guys do thus and thus, the Most High is not going to bless nothing. You guys got to get in order. Stop delaying so you can be blessed. And what he do? Bless all the way around, you know. So I'm not speaking to anybody, y'all, in the remnant, because I know how we operating. I'm just saying what the Holy Ghost gave me, right? So even I was telling Naya, like, even in our relationship coming up, when we met, we didn't have the remnant, but we were operating as remnant, right? So, and even with me coming from the indoctrination, my mind had to be unsocialized also when it came to multiple women in marriages and things like that. I was not for none of that. You know, my mind had to be groomed by the Holy Ghost to get there. And then finally, when the Holy Ghost told us who we were in 2014, that we are the Israelites, right? We are not Gentiles. And then when you get your culture and you understand your culture, then you start seeing how the Most High is, what direction he's moving us into. You become more open. Right? You're seeing things, you know that our husbands have had multiple wives, but it ain't just willy-nilly. There are requirements. It ain't just like in the indoctrination where you're going to be hidden. Ain't nobody knowing about you and all this kind of stuff, right? But we operating as a culture, right? And our marriages have meaning. Just like you said, if you was a man who sexualized everything, you would have nothing as a remnant man to give us. We would just be around here wanting more wives to have sex with. And that's not how we operate over here, right? we don't have that 90% sexualized mentality.
Mhm.
So our men are able to pour into their women and give them something that they never had before, right? Which is this information, whether it's street mixed with the word, mixed with everything, right? Mixed with a little book, mixed with a little whatever. We're getting the information over here, and y'all ain't getting nothing but sex.
I wanted to kind of
And the insecurities.
I wanted to kind of go back a little bit with because you brought it up,
Go
insecurities.
close, because you talk low, so take the mic.
So I wanted to bring back the insecurities. That was just kind of finished off with it, because the way everything the Holy Ghost laid down is like the way he dealt with me as far as preparation for marriage. He had to get that indoctrination of the value of the woman and the sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was younger, when I was a young man, or in high school, whatever, that was the main thing. You have to go and talk to this girl. You got to go talk to this girl. And even though I didn't have much success in doing such a thing, it was still on me that it created those insecurities, right? So it created the 90% of the world in me to want to go. And that had to been, what was it? The value was I wasn't valuable until I had that.
Mm.
How
And
that
so,
make you feel
and
within
so
yourself?
it's you know, it's kind of a desperation. It's you moving in desperation. You're not necessarily trying to do anything for yourself. You're trying to get with that.
Trying to fit in.
A little bit. Like, you could be trying to fit in.
I don't think it's fit in, because it's fit in has a connotation of something out of the ordinary. This is something very common. So maybe trying to line up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. And so when you don't line up, that's where the insecurity comes in. And so now there's this thing out there where you like, if you somebody, you a virgin or whatever, you're not really considered a man. And so those things plague on you. You feel some kind of way. Those things can be there. So what the Most High did with me, and it goes back to Jock's question about what are those things that maybe you thought you got out of you, but you felt it wasn't something recent or anything, because I've always been, because I already knew some of those things were in me when I got into the Remnant. So as I was observing certain things with certain loved ones that might have been since Vegas or even Atlanta, and I made sure to be on top of myself in that area, right? As we got out here to Seattle, there were certain tests that I didn't know I was aware of that I need to be attested. So it's just gonna be transparency, because that's what we do in the Remnant. Eddie, he was here for a brief moment or whatever, and he literally offered me his daughter, in a sense. I don't know which one he was thinking, but it is irrelevant. And it was basically, and whether or not people see it or not, it was a test from the Most High, because he was trying to see, are you going to make that more important than me? And when I stood, then it's like, okay, now it brings it back to what Dre was saying earlier. Now you can lead, because that's not even in your mind no more. And even with once that situation kind of happened, and how that something that I could fall to if I'm not on top of it. Not to say that it's like it took something off of me now. It's like the empowerment of passing that test, knowing that I could do it again multiple times, is not something that is required in my life. I got the Most High, and he tests those that he loved. So when he tested me with that, it wasn't something to say, "Oh, Lord, you think I'm weak in this?" No, you're showing me that I have the capacity to deal with a situation like that. That I'm not going to compromise my values as far as what the Most High or the principles of the Most High in that situation, and demonstrate that as far as leadership is concerned to those out there, those considering to be in the Remnant, and what that looks like. That's all I got.
That's powerful.
Yeah, for me, along the same lines, growing up, I wasn't really ladies' man, so to speak. I was more to myself, shy, introverted, and I dealt with a similar thing, to where I had elevated sex because of the environment around me, environment I grew up in. So that was a great insecurity for majority of my life until I came into the clarity of what is true. And it definitely is
Liberating.
definitely liberating, because it was such a heavy weight on me because of how the world presented it, like how important it was when really it's nothing, you know. And yeah, all praises to the Most High.
All praises.
Something that Deb was saying when I got that revelation for myself, right? As far as how you're operating outside of a marriage. Because first of all, the immoral woman can't help but to be a hoe, right? Because she can't help it. Because there's a whole script in, what was that, Ezekiel 16:3, right? There's a whole script of how the immoral woman operates. You know, her mindset going from one situation to the next situation. You know, saying any past buyer, you just going for it. You comparing sizes and worshiping those kind of things. And, you know, even all the way to the point where, because in the indoctrination as an immoral woman, that's how I was operating, right? But I can't even say I was a hoe because I was beneath the prostitute, first of all, because even in the scripture, it said that even that woman isn't even a prostitute. You're not even getting a dime for it, right? You're just willingly doing it, you know? So yeah, you know, and that was my thing, you know, and you're not getting a dime for it. You're just doing it because that's what you want to do, right? And that's the situation I was in, you know, being a girlfriend and operating like that, just giving myself even in a relationship. Oh, he's up. But yeah, giving myself, you know, in other situations, because I felt like, you know, in my environment, it's like I was saying last week, how the music being glorified, the environment you in, you know, you having sisters or friends and the conversations they having, and your mind is wandering and you want to have an experience, especially things that you're being exposed to at a young age, like I was, you know. So, you know, for a long time before I even got in the information and with my husband, when I got with my husband before then, that being, you know, the whole, what would you say, like the 95% of just like the sexual thing, that's what I elevated, you know, because in my mind, because I thought so little of myself, I felt like I had to perform in any situation I was in. It was like, you know, because the insecurities was skyrocket. So I felt like, you know, I got to be better than anybody else they dealing with. I got to prove myself. I got to make myself remembered. And just that whole mindset, right? But just lending myself just willingly, right? Not knowing what I'm not knowing, because I didn't have the information, what I was doing to myself, right? How I was belittling myself, you know, but that's how the immoral woman is, you know? So coming into this information, learning about virtue, learning who I am, because in the indoctrination, everybody, what they don't realize, they're searching for a lie, right? And that revelation was brought to me, you know, from the Holy Ghost when I was talking to my husband one day, because, you know, it's like I was saying with the music and conversations and hearing things, I was searching for those experiences, right? Now I'm using people. People are using each other for this experience to find the truth, right? To see if this is true. Well, I heard about this, so we're going to use each other to see if that's true. I'm going to use this person and see if that's true, you know, and that's what I was doing. So when I think about it, and it's one of those scriptures where you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free, right? But in the indoctrination, I didn't see it like that. But now from where I'm at now, the woman I am now, you know, with this mindset, realizing that, knowing none of those situations could hold me, you know, nothing could hold me but this game. You know? It's like you were saying, you know, in your post earlier. You know, my husband, you know, this information, right? And, you know, when I was just doing whatever, it's like, that it was just, you know, searching for the lie, you know, but knowing now, like I was saying, understand that truth, and the truth has set me free, you know? So now it's like, because it was something I was carrying that I felt like, you know, there's the shame, or, the guilt or, you know, whatever, how you just looked at yourself, right? But now looking back at it, it's like, you know, that just set me all the way free because I know the truth, right? And I know that anything that I thought was fun with the indoctrination, try to seem as, you know, that experience is everything and pleasure and all those things, I know that is a lie, right? And it's really nothing, you know, and that's how I feel about it. So, you know, yeah, being where I'm at now and, you know, having my husband, because there's things that coming from the indoctrination that has to be salted out of you, especially something that you've elevated so high above your self-worth, your value, right? And, you know, being with my husband, there was attitudes and acts that I would try to bring with him, right? But, you know, with that, knowing he wasn't going for it, right? But I had to learn, although I knew the man he was, I didn't know that I had to learn him in that intimate relationship, you know, understanding that, you know, none of that is going to hold me, him. That's right. So, you know, I had to rise above that, right? With this information that he gives me, that he teaches me, right? And the woman that I'm growing into, you know, so going from where that's something that I tried to elevate, you know, and then insecurities was being brought, and, you know, now I'm falling left and right, and, you know, but having to grow from that, understanding, well, because that also being liberating for me, because I didn't have to bring that into our marriage and that in our relationship, right? So now I can be more than what I was. I can rise above that old person, right? And which we do when, you know, you get your value back, right? You get your virtue, you know? So, and that not even being, you know, yes, it's a part of marriage, but it's not, you know, again, it's not elevated, and there's more space to be a conqueror, right? And that is what being elevated, you know, because that is the thing where, you know, you focusing on your assignment, right? And the thing that I love, we have that class, you know, stay in alignment, your God, your culture, your position, and your purpose, right? And understanding that, being aligned with that. So when your mind is there, you know, everything else is nothing, you know? So it's, yeah, your assignment that is above everything, you know? And like we had a class the other day is, you know, having the capacity, right? Filling up the space, anything that, you know, the Most High is placed in front of you, you know, anything, just demolishing it, right? Or just not even demolishing it, but, well, that too, because we are conquerors, but, you know, again, filling in that space to be big, you know, and that's something I had to learn, you know. Yeah, just above all the little mindset that I had, you know, even in the information, again, like I said, having to allow those things to be salted, right? But you have to want it, you have to be willing, you know, like I was with my husband, you know, and yeah, having to learn that. So now it's like, with me knowing that truth, it's like, you know, it's like the class we had yesterday is, you know, access denied. The access is completely denied. You know, there's no chance. It's like, it's you know, just elevated.
Andreltaylor?
Yeah.
Boy, you's a beast around here, baby.
Yeah. You know, I learned from the best.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Put that closer to you.
So, you know, based on this topic, I could relate to a lot of things. And it just made me think about, you know, when I was a young girl, how I over-sexualized myself. And I was so eager to sleep with a boy older than me, like constantly. That was just like the topic with my friends, always trying to, you know, go to a function and get attention and dance on a boy. And, you know, back then it was like you were humping on a wall and, you know, doing things you had no business doing at, you know, 13, 14 years old. And so with growing up like that, you know, like losing my virginity young, and then recognizing a lot of heartbreak, experiencing a lot of heartbreak super young, and getting older around 17, 18, and kind of just deciding like, yeah, I'm good. Like, let me just focus on work, school, things like that, but still over sexualized, like dress very provocative, constantly, just kind of open, ready, and willing. If I see something I like, then maybe I'll see what's up. But just kind of kept myself available in a sense. And so that's why I think the transition into the game too was easy for me to decide to do that, because I was already doing it for free and getting my heart broken and just dealing with whatever came with it. So I was just like, all right, well, why not get paid for it, And so in doing that, not knowing my value, making pennies basically, and and meeting Dee and getting the information and gaining understanding about who I am and my value and how I don't have to do things to see results basically. And so and also too, I want to throw in there being with somebody for the first time that wasn't sexually invested in me. He was only invested in my mind. And so me having the capacity to like listen or to do, to believe, because even that, I didn't have that. It took time for me to build that relationship up with the Most High and to see the results in my life for myself. And so, and knowing like, oh, okay, this is real, like, okay, all I gotta do is listen, all I gotta do is believe, all I gotta do is apply, like, I can do that, and, but even in like, in that space in my life, I was very money motivated. And so maybe I didn't value sex as much because there was already a lot of women, well, not a lot, but a few women already around. Jock was one of them. And not putting the sex on a pedestal, knowing like, okay, you know what, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to take care of my business. I'm here to build my life up. And like, that was more of my primary, and the relationship and the sex just formed later in the relationship. And so going through, having that relationship, and everything was great for many, many years. And, I had experienced some things with him where, I mean, even as a remnant man, you mess up and you fall, right? And so because I put him on such a high pedestal and not necessarily the information or the value within myself, because he messed up, I took the opportunity to be like, okay, well, I can mess up. And so, and I also didn't give him the grace that he's given me, because I held it against him for so long and used it as an excuse to not do what I was supposed to do. And so going back to the things that you said about like thinking you conquered something, but you still fall in that area. And so that was something I fell a lot in and dealt with a lot of insecurities with other women. I used to go through his phone. I used to be, I
think we've all done
that. I was just a headache, I was such a headache. And like, I think about it now and I was like, dang, I was, obviously a grown woman, but I was bad, like I would just be doing stuff and I had no business doing.
I just be doing stuff.
Yeah, just be doing stuff. Huh? Oh, me and Jock did it. But it's on me though, because I told her, I was like, I went through these phones. She's like, really? Let me see, And so just like having that experience, yeah. No, for real. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Y'all got
She gave me the
I
code.
did. Yeah, I have it.
I never got the response before.
No.
And she was like, yeah, I have the code. I'll be watching. I was like, well, give it to me.
You know, but that's what happens. That's what happens. That's what happens when that trust gets messed up. So that's why it's so important, like when you do have this information, that you really show up in it, because as soon, if you don't, and I mean, it's on me, because I'm the one that decided to use him as an excuse. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's on me. But it's on me. Like, there is no excuses for that. But
And see, that's how we operate in the remnant. That's different from the indoctrination, because we take accountability, and the accountability is you are supposed to give each other their space to grow. Like she said, he gave her grace so many times. So you didn't mention that. You said he gave you grace, but it was a lot.
Yeah, he gave me a lot of grace.
So then you felt like, because he made a mistake, you felt like you're going to lord that over him. And that was wrong, because we always teach that now the Most High got to continue to deal with you instead of him. And he going to get to him. Right. But that not taking that responsibility and continue to try to use somebody else as an scapegoat, it's only going to keep you digging in. And then it ain't going to help the situation, because then now he got to deal with you.
Right.
In your situation.
Yeah, and I was being dealt with, for sure. I was being dealt with. So, having to rebuild that trust and, build my relationship with the Most High and get back to my own, virtue, and just recognizing, giving that grace, recognizing like, okay, he's messed up, twice our whole 12 years we've been together, and I messed up more than I can count. And so who am I to point the finger at him because he had a fall, and then continuously gets up as well. And so, having that experience, and then, and getting past that and like rebuilding the relationship, I've been able to not necessarily value all those things that I used to value so much. And like I said, just like, one of the things that insecurities causes, comparing and things like that, and feeling like, oh, okay, well, is that where you would rather be because you made these choices? Or, is this, like, what is it? What is the issue? Or why did you decide to, not be honest or transparent in those situations? And so, but just like also too, knowing as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I can't worry about he's on top of him. I got to be on top of me. And so, like, that's where I'm at now, just knowing like the Most High got it, and like he always says, for the good I do you, the Most High won't want you to do me any wrong. And so like my main focus is no longer valuing the sex.
Wait a minute, go back.
Go ahead.
Because he might not allow, see, the way you just put that is a setup too.
Is it?
Because you said he won't allow him to do me any harm. But if you look at it as
she said he would tell her.
The good that I do you, he won't allow.
You.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
What it is?
Yeah.
He won't allow it to come to pass. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so that's the main key, because I used to get stuck on what you did. And instead of, it's not about what you did. It's not about you at all. It's about how I'm showing up regardless of what you did. And so, and that just goes with anybody, because I've had that same reoccurring fall, not just with Dee, but with people in my family, with my wife-in-laws, just anything. And so just knowing like, it is not about the other individual. It is all about self and how you show up in this information, how you show up to the Most High. And so, like that's where I'm at, and practicing that continuously and recognizing to love beyond my own pain. So yeah.
Let me clap for that. And let me just say that I'm very, very happy that you decided to come up here, because I don't think people have had the opportunity in the Remnant and outside, of course, to really be able to appreciate your genius and be able to appreciate your depth, right? Because most of the time you're just quiet and back, or being
In Colorado.
Or
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm really, really happy to that you just released your measure, because you're extremely bright. God has already told me things about you, and definitely continue to root for you. But I'm happy that you was able to share your story, and not as a victim, but as a conqueror,
Right.
because that's how you shared it. As a Big Remnant around here. And that you two are up here today is just, you guys have so much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding through circumstances, through things that you've experienced in your life, and now here in the Remnant, having all those things cultivated, right? And
Sorry.
the bugs are in here for some reason, right? They had the windows open or whatever.
They trying to get to my food.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful that both of you guys came up and just shared and released your measure, because people know who D is, right? But now they understand. Now they understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it now, D. Oh, praise. I love you guys.
Love you.
Next school up. Oh, we don't have that much time left.
Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock.
No switching.
Yeah. Did you want to say something else? You don't have to, but if you wanted to, I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you want to release
Yeah.
a measure?
I mean.
Okay, hold on. Let you guys come up. Come on, Nas. Let her say what she's gonna say last.
No, I was just hearing everybody talking everything about everything, and just going back. It was just reminding me again when I was younger, like going back and everybody being in the world and the sexualization and all that. For me, it was a bit different, because I grew up around a lot of my girlfriends. They started having like sex in middle school at the age of 12. I'm still playing with Barbies in the bathtub. Like I had, I'm not thinking about things like that. But with them doing that, we would go to school, and the boys would be there that they were having sex with, and it was like this thing, and it made me like kind of stay away from sex. But they would go around and they would call the girl a hoe. Oh, she's a hoe. I'm sleeping with her. She's a hoe. I'm sleeping. And I never wanted to be labeled as that. So that was not at the forefront of my mind. And even leaving that setting and moving to high school and a whole different area, a whole new group of friends, same thing. They were very sexually active. Two of them ended up getting pregnant, in high school. And here I am again, like really not even thinking about that. I didn't lose my virginity until I was like 17. And when I did, it wasn't a big deal. I was just like, what, this is what everybody's raving about? Because it just was not a good experience for me. So it was never something that I was just like, oh, I want to do this all the time, or I'm lending myself. And I was always like a relationship person. I always wanted to be in a long-term relationship. And I met a guy when I was like 17, and I was with this guy for 8 years. And that relationship was so toxic, and he like cheated, he lied. And that's when I experienced all the things, that you experience and you go through, all that lying. And it was just horrible. And I used to, the way I used to be back then, I was. Well, I was doing crazy things. Like I would, we had our separate apartments, but I would sneak the insecurities that were created I knew he lived on the first floor. I would climb over the patio because I knew he left his patio door open. And I would sneak in his house, and I would go through his house, when he wasn't home. And I'm doing all these crazy things, and I'm just like, this is crazy, and I just didn't want to live like that. And then also too, I just had a terrible mouth. Like, I cuss like a sailor. So every time I would get into it with him, there would be this everything. It was everything, you guys. It was bad. My mouth is horrible. And so it's not anymore, but it's very horrible. And I could make a man feel like this big when I would talk to him. And I knew I had the power to do that. And I finally got out of that relationship, but I was like, I had little relationships here and there with people. What? I had little relations here and there with people, but it was nothing that had any substance to it, right? There was nothing. It wasn't somebody that I could grow with or do things with, and that's what I was looking for. And I ended up working in a club, just through circumstance. My mom was sick. She was dying. I was helping her with her bills. I had my own place. My brother was living with her, taking care of her. So I was working and, helping out with all that stuff. So that's how I ended up in that situation, because I needed fast money. And I'm like, how do I need to get it, because I was working in securities and finance. And it just wasn't enough money coming in. And I'm like, I need a second job. You can't, what you gonna do, work at the mall and make $8 an hour at the time, So that's what came to mind. So I'm like, okay, let me go in here, at least waitress, bartend, something, get something going. And I ended up doing something completely different, and ended up dancing in the club. And I was making a ton of money, and I was able to help and contribute. And, and I was still trying to date, I guess you could say, trying to see what was out there. And but even after I left that relationship of 8 years, I went on like this spree of like, okay, like I'm gonna go out here and let me see what this is about. And I tried to sleep around. I tried. It didn't work because everybody that I had come across, there was always a situation that happened where we weren't able to be intimate. And I was just like, okay, that's like, the Most High telling me something like, you don't need to be out here doing this and lending yourself. You know what I mean? So I was just like, okay, let me just not do anything. And then I remember I was going through all the motions with my mom being sick and everything. And I was by myself. So I was just dealing with, everything head on. And I remember coming home and I was just like, Lord, please I don't care if he's fat, ugly, skinny, bald, tall, whatever. I was like, just please, can you please just send me somebody that's good? And so I actually prayed for that. And then it was funny because I ended up meeting D. And it wasn't like right away, but it was like a few months down the line that he just popped into my life. And I've been talking to a guy, and I just, like since I had found him, I cut everybody off, and everybody's like, oh, well, we can't be friends and we can't. I'm like, no, because when I met D, and he came in and he started talking, like, it's the thing, guys see you and they just, oh, I want to have sex with her. I just want to do this. And there was plenty of those. And I was just like, no, like, that's not what I want. That's not what I want to do. And so when I met him, he was not about that. He just wasn't. And that was the first thing that just shocked me. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a man that talks. He wants to talk, and he wants to talk about life and real things and moving forward. So it was like a breath of fresh air for me, to see that and to have that, and the conversations that we would have and talk about. It just blew. I was scared of him. It scared me that I had met somebody like that, because I just really didn't think he was real. And because that just didn't exist. And, you don't come across people like that. It's a blessing to come across someone like that. So like I said, I was like, is he like an alien or like, is he a vampire? Like, I didn't know. Like, I was really thinking. Right. So he's an anomaly, right? Or he's an anomaly. And so I'm thinking, you know, just like, this is crazy. So it was very much a blessing to have him come in and say, hey, you know, I'm going through this. My mom is sick. This is going on, all this, all that. And he just stepped right up to the plate, you know, and like took charge, took control, and was just like, you know, I'm going to help you with everything you got going on, even my finances. I was so scared to show him my finances, y'all. I was like, he was like, I need to see everything about it, your finances, everything. And I'm like, no. I'm like, because I was so embarrassed.
Right.
I was so embarrassed. But he had come in and just cleaned up everything. Like, I was drinking, I was doing drugs, I was, you know, doing that to deal and cope with my mom passing, or starting to pass. She hadn't passed yet, and I just didn't have nobody. And he just came in and just, you know, cleaned everything up, and so that was a blessing. So
Bravo for you, young fella.
I'm gonna stop there because there's more to it. But I want to give people some time.
We got 15 minutes and we got birthdays and
I have a question for Jock before she leaves.
okay, go ahead, real quick.
You said you have the power. You said that you used to have you do, or used to, you don't do it no more, but you have the power with your mouth to make a man feel this small, right?
Yeah.
What do you have the power to do now?
Oh.
That
is.
Yeah, no, man. Let's go. Let's go.
That is a good question. So now, just feeling empowered, having my virtue and all those things, it's allowing me to conquer the enemy more, because that's the point, is because I let that man run havoc in my life, and he had a chokehold on me, something fierce. So now, having this information and getting more information, even after I was gone for 2.5 years, and coming into the Remnant and getting back and just hearing everything, it opened me up to just the downloads and getting so much more, that it just completely changed. I had to really evaluate some things in my life. So now I'm able just to see him more, like watch out for the little things, like when he gets into my mind, the story, the movies that are being created, that he's trying to create. That's what I have to pay attention to, because it happens all the time. Like I said, it's a constant fight for me every day. It doesn't stop. It just does not stop. And so as long as you're aware and you know what he's trying to do. Thank you. Because he just be at you, you know, he be at me. But yeah, it allows me to, you know, look at certain situations. I'm like, oh my God, I was tripping, or, you know, I need to apologize for that, or, you know, I do need to take a beat or a breath and go over here for a minute. And, you know, because things do come around. Like I said earlier, how do you deal with those situations that keep popping up? And because they do keep popping up, and they're going to until I conquer them, you know.
That's when they stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they stop. See, he's not going to stop doing what he's going to do. It's not about it. It's about when you're going to stop accepting it.
Right.
He said, those good answers. He said, you have the power for tear a man or a male down.
Are you saying with a man?
Just in general, those.
Oh.
I mean, but you could go there.
Because it wasn't a man.
Yeah, a male. That's why I said male.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
good.
But what he was looking for is I have the power to affirm him now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's all. That's what he was asking for.
Yeah, I was gonna say support.
Yeah, support and affirm who he already is.
And then just in general, everything you covered too. That was good.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to go because we're late. No, we go because
Sorry.
no, you ain't going. Sorry, you did great.
Yeah,
right.
that was great.
Huh?
7
And it
p.m.
was it.
7 p.m. Wednesdays. Go ahead, D.
Monday, Friday, 7 p.m. on YouTube. All right. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. on
Come in front of the camera so they can
7
man who they were talking about.
7 p.m. on Instagram, and Thursday, 7 p.m. on OnlyFans.
Thanks for sharing the space with us, guys.
Love you all.
Let my mom come and surprise me.
Hey, coming? Is it off? Still on? It's over.